I recently turned 49 years old. And I've been talking to a friend of mine who I've known since middle school who's about to turn 49, and he's been discussing how turning middle age sucks. It's just horrible. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I still got all my hair. I still am having a great life and doing whatever, even though I've got some health issues I'm trying to struggle through. And I don't like doctors, so it doesn't help. But then I think about the bigger picture, and I start thinking about my life and when him and I were hanging out when we were young and stupid in middle school and all the things I've seen. And I've had a thought come to me recently, and maybe some of you have had this same thought. What went wrong? And I don't mean our personal lives. I mean society. What went wrong with society? Something is fucked up. Something broke. I think something broke. Now I know that society is a scam. I think we all know that. I've actually started making merch which says this. Here's a sticker I just made. I've got others up there. Society is a scam. I think we can all stand behind this. Everything we're told is kind of a lie. Follow the money trail. All the things we advocate for are really about making money for someone, not about making anything better. Do this, but don't do this. One year you're supposed to eat apples, next year you're not supposed to eat apples. But even bigger than that, even bigger than the fact that society is supposed to keep you complacent, not make you a millionaire, I swear something just broke in reality. You see people on YouTube talking about how in the year 2000, time froze and we're in this thing. And I don't blame them, even though I think that's not an explanation. I don't blame them. Think about it. So I was born in 1977. Elvis Presley was still alive. I tell everybody I was named after him. As far as I know, I kind of was. My dad loved Elvis. I mean, I love Elvis, but my dad was a big enough fan, he might have done that. Groucho Marx, I don't know, I think yes, he was still alive when I was born. 1977, we did not have home computers. And I grew up in the 1980s, was in high school in the 90s. I remember when Kurt Cobain died. I remember actually when Cyndi Lauper was on TV debuting and Michael Jackson moonwalking and Reagan was becoming president. My parents voted for him. I remember Ross Perot. I remember a lot. 49 years. I also remember that when I was a boy, I was told by my parents, very sincere, middle class, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, except we didn't go to church, that if you start on the bottom, you'll build your way up. So get a job in a company as the janitor, and someday you'll be president. That's what I was told. Just get a house with a white picket fence. You'll be fine. That's what I was told. Maybe, but I've not seen any janitor become a president in my lifetime. I've not been in any company where that really was the progression. I was told when I was a boy that when I was older, and here I am, 49, we'd have flying cars by now. It'd be like the Jetsons. 2026, we would have flying cars. And I was told this in the 80s, okay? Remember, I was born in 77. The home computer was Star Trek level thinking. We were going to have flying cars. Instead, we're arguing about whether AI will steal all our jobs. It's taking over and writing books and poetry and making music for us. Where's the flying cars? So promise flying cars make our life better. Instead, AI is taking over our jobs and ruining our lives. Something didn't come out of the equation like it was supposed to. Was I lied to? No. So something broke. When I was a boy, never expected world peace, but we thought, the crumbling of the Soviet Union, which happened when I was in high school, was a big deal, and it was a sign of things to come. We were going to have democracy around the world, freedom, people were going to be happy, life was going to be great. Instead, we have rape gangs in England, and holding up a not a patriot flag, but a British flag is hate speech now. What did I see something the other day? 12,000 people are hauled off to jail for saying something wrong on Facebook against immigrants in England? Because being British is now, like, just about against the law? Like, wait a minute. I thought we'd have world peace, but it's now against the law to be a patriot? What happened? The world broke. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? You guys see this too. What else was I promised when I was young? Oh, you can do anything. You can be anything. Just put your mind to it. And we see where that went. We've told generation after generation that they are special. And now you have to work like a dog and can barely afford what you're doing. And I'm not talking about AOCs, everyone has 3 jobs, but that might be the future. When I moved back to Portland, Maine 13, 14 years ago, you could get a studio apartment for $500. A nice one. Livable. Not amazing, but it'd be fine. Nowadays, that same studio is $2,000. Actually, yeah, it's about $2,000. I was looking at some prices the other day. So you can imagine what a 1-bedroom is and a 2-bedroom. Minimum wage is $17, I think. You do the math. So $2,000 a month for your studio, and you're making $17 an hour before taxes. You can't survive. Yet I was told when we were young, minimum wage. We just have to lift the minimum wage and we'll be fine. We'll all be able to survive. But we can't survive anymore. And it's going to take, 45 years for the average person to save up to buy a house in LA? Forget about it. The housing situation is insane. We have immigrants doing things. Everything seems to be broken. All the promises that we were made, those of us who are my age, none of them seem to have come true. Let's see, what else? We'd cure cancer. Cancer would be cured. We'd have amazing medical technology. We could see it in the 70s. We were already beginning to do things. In the 80s, we were discovering things. And yes, there were new things coming up in the 80s, like AIDS and HIV. But science was moving very quickly, and we were getting this thing called a computer. And when I was in college, I had my first email. Until then, no one I knew had one. Maybe my dad did at work, but you didn't use it that much, and you'd let someone know an email was coming so they'd make sure to check it. So, I went to college using a word processor, matter of fact. Not a computer, but one of those typewriters with a computer screen. And we saw technology was changing, and it would cure cancer, it would cure diseases. Life would be amazing. Maybe the length of our lives would be longer. That's what I was told. We'd all live to be 100. And maybe you were told that too. And yet here it is, 2026. And we don't even know what a woman is. So wait a minute, we went from being told that we'd all live to be 100 to now we don't even know what a woman is. But actually we do. A woman is if you feel if you're a woman. Because now feelings are science. Actually, feelings trump science. So science says, no, here's a man, here's a woman with chromosomes, but my feelings say, no, I feel like a woman, therefore now my feelings trump science. So that's where we are now, yet we were told we live to 100. Wait a minute, how did we get to this point where now science is irrelevant if I feel it's irrelevant? I saw a college kid online say that there is no difference between men and women in any way, shape, or form. None whatsoever. No physical, biological, none whatsoever. That's the state of our science now? Or the science that's being quoted by young, ignorant activists? Wait a minute. Where's those flying cars? What the hell? What the hell? Let me know in the comments if you were promised anything when you were young. That has not come true. We're living in clown world. society is a scam. I have a sticker right here that says that, because this is what I believe. Society is a scam, and it's become clown world. And I swear it broke at some point. It just broke. Nothing I was promised is happening. We were going to have robots who would live in our houses like out of the Jetsons. But we're not even having families anymore. Because no one's dating. What happened to society? And so when I'm talking to my friend who is turning 49 in a few months, and I just turned 49, and we've known each other since middle school, and we've both traveled around the country, and we're talking about how life is changing, what it's like at 50. I don't really think of myself. I just think about what I was promised and the way the world works. And something broke. I really believe that something broke in society. Am I wrong on this? Do you guys agree with me? I think you probably all agree with me. Like, at some point, something went wrong and all society just went on its head. We know it's a scam. We know we're being lied to. I think we all can agree what we're being told is garbage. They just revealed recently that the climate change stuff for Al Gore was all based on estimates which are improbable. And so this whole climate change thing is basically, it's sort of a lie. Yeah, we know we're being lied to. We know we're told we have to use paper straws while John Kerry flies in a private airplane. We got that. Man, we got that. But I swear everything else is just like, something happened. And sometimes I like to joke about this and say, it's when Mr. Rogers died. I grew up with Mr. Rogers. I remember watching him even as I got older, and I still love watching him. And he makes me cry. He's just an amazing guy. He's an enigma. He truly was what he presented. A very sweet, amazing guy. A unique person. And I swear, once we replaced Mr. Rogers with the Teletubbies, society broke. I think that's maybe the cutting off point. Once that happened, something fell apart. We went from Michael Jackson as the king of pop to Michael Jackson as someone people don't want to listen to because he's a pedo. We went from Bill Cosby being the most loved man on TV, and he was, to a womanizing asshole. Like, something just broke. Everything we know broke. Everything we know just fell apart. Everything we were promised has fallen apart. Maybe. I mean, yeah, you can still become a millionaire. You can still have a house. You can still be successful. Society's not completely broken. But it just seems like the world I was expecting here as I'm 49 is not the world I was told I would be having when I was 10 years old. Or 15. The things that I was told to do to achieve XYZ, well, they don't matter. Work hard. It doesn't matter anymore. Get a job and stay there your entire life. Good luck doing that. So, maybe the world didn't really break. Maybe a new generation came up and started to lead the world, and they're not good leaders. Or maybe the generation that's old, retired, our parents, or the folks who have passed away, they set up a world with malicious intent, and now we're seeing the payoff. Like the talks on feminism, how feminism is really detrimental to women. It just took a couple generations. Maybe that's actually what we're seeing. It wasn't that the world broke. It was like, when I was young, they were setting my future up for something. It just was going to take time, and it was going to be the next generation that would see the payoff of my life being destroyed so they could profit. Maybe that's it. And I'm not even talking about like my parents who, they have a condo. My dad was an engineer all his life. My mom was a housewife until I went into college, and then she started working part-time, more for the fun of it than absolute necessity. They sold and bought houses, sold and bought cars, and they've retired, and they're doing fine. they had what they were promised. My uncle and aunt, same thing. If they handled themselves financially okay, they have what they were promised. I do have an aunt who lives in low income housing, but that's only because she would go on $4,000 to $5,000 trips to China every year and then declare bankruptcy because she actually didn't have the money to start with. So she made a bad choice over and over. But if she hadn't done that, she'd be in a much better spot. But everyone I know who's older, they've got what they were promised. My mom wanted a white picket fence from the time she was in high school. She's now just turned 79 or 80. She had that for many years as I was growing up, a white picket fence. The only thing we didn't have was a dog. They had it, but whatever I want, I can't get. I struggle to get. There's no middle class housing anymore. Apartments are not affordable. Things are a struggle. I don't even know how parents do it, let alone single parents. I don't know how anyone does it in a huge big city like New York where you, rents are insane. People I do know who are doing it have inherited stuff, which really says that you weren't able to do it. Something broke and you're lucky. So maybe that's the outcome, but it just feels like something has gone wrong. And I don't think I'm alone in this, so I just wanted to talk to all of you. And I would love your feedback if you feel like, yeah, something is wrong. We are living in clown world. Love to know your thoughts, maybe where you see us going next, and given the trajectory, who knows? Uh, or maybe why you think we've come to this point. I'd love for your response, so please put it in the comments down below. I'm just ranting today. It was a morning where I didn't have to go into work, and I'm just like, sometimes you're just stressed, and I've been stressed lately. I haven't been sleeping well, so I just was trying to relieve some of that stress by sharing some of these existential ideas which haunt me in the middle of the night. So, yeah, please do. Hello to all of you in the comments. Thank you for chiming in live. I do appreciate it a lot. And for those watching afterwards, put your thoughts in the other comments and responding to me and what you think. And yeah, I don't know. Should we all go into nature with a bucket of water and grow our own crops, and that's going to be the future, or what? What's going on? So let me know what you think. And with that, I'm going to wish you a good day. Thank you so much for chiming in and participating and just being there and just hanging out with me. I'll catch you folks later. Rock on.